Fuck it. Let's just do the first one over again. I'm Sam.
That's right. 2 sex scenes, but with the same lady. I'm Jackie.
By retconning the franchise, I'm just more confused. I'm Justin, and this is Highlander 3, The Final Dimension on Stinker Madness. Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness. This week on the show, we wrap up the theatrical releases of the Highlander series following our year in review list last week, where we declared that Highlander 2 was all one of our favorites? Was one of all
Both of them.
Our favorites? No, I didn't.
Both Highlanders made the top
I
5
did
for
not-
everybody.
I did not put Highlander 1 in my list at all. At all.
Really?
Really. But Highlander 2 did. Either way, that's where we're back, following up from where I promised that I would do Highlander 3 on the next episode. And I had to fight my own pick on doing this because I didn't want to watch it on Pluto, because I thought Pluto was just that's where it's streaming. If you don't have access to this, you can go on Pluto. I didn't think that they did on demand. I thought it was just shitty cable.
Nope, it's on demand too.
Obviously, since we watched it, but I didn't know that. I wasn't real happy about Pluto. I still think Tubi. If it's not on Tubi, it's crap. But that's me. Yeah.
It's better than Crackle.
It is. I don't even know. So I looked up that because I was curious. I'm like, Tubi, God, they've just got so much on there, and it's like a really good interface, and the commercials are not the same over and over again, and they're paced decently for a free. Yeah, we don't want commercials at all, but it's the least of the annoyances. I looked up. Guess who owns Tubi TV?
No idea.
Fox Corp bought them in 2020.
And so Fox Corp is still independent from Disney. It was 20th Century that got sold to Disney.
Right.
So will the Murdochs own Tubi?
I don't know that for sure, because I think the Fox...
Don't they own the Sun and the Post?
Yeah, but they don't...
Which is like, if you're going to read gossip, just go right there.
But the Murdochs don't own... They own the news outlet. They don't own the sports outlet. So it seems like there's still a Fox Corp out there that owns...
I thought that the sports got sold off as part of 20th Century, and that's why they have all of the ABC music on them now. No. Because that's all Disney business.
No. It's its own thing, Fox Sports is. Either way, where are we talking about this? Sam, let's talk about Highlander 3.
Highlander 3. Highlander 2? 1?
Yeah, 2.
I guess.
2.1
well,
is the update.
By 1992, it was realized that the ideas of the Immortals would be better served with a television series, and the brand name could be kept by adding Cousin MacLeod. Okay. And so they did that, and that was 2 years before this movie came out, and it was really going pretty gangbusters as far as a syndicated television program.
Back up with this Cousin MacLeod thing. That's his first name? The Highlanders?
No, it's
his cousin?
It's Connor's cousin.
Okay, so he doesn't have a first name? He's just
Duncan.
Duncan
MacLeod
okay, all right.
Is the Adrian Paul in the series is Duncan MacLeod.
Okay, all right.
And they sort of reconcile what's going on in the first episode. While at the same time, you have to really also look at Highlander being one of the last series that was in syndication that wasn't like Serial hadn't taken a hold,
right?
Retaken a hold where everything was serial again, so that every episode of Highlander could be viewed wherever you wanted to start it from, and it serves as a one-off adventure of a Highlander.
Okay.
There are overarching serial elements to it, but not enough that it would interfere with your enjoyment of, 40 minutes of mindless Highlander adventure where a guy gets his head cut off probably at the end. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I'm thinking that you're going to see like Stephen J. Cannell levels of formula involved with that program.
Seems like it.
Whether that's good or bad, what you have is that largely this idea set is being represented well in that format, and the movie's thus far have not really done it justice, because even the first one, immensely popular after its theatrical run, which was not, it brought the idea, but it didn't explore any of it, and the show does that for the most part, while also just being a Cannell-style one-off every week episode of Highlander business. But why wouldn't you want to waste more money on the movie series and just put out another one of these anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know why you would want to do that, but that's what they did. And now that we're here, I can reconcile the numbers.
Okay.
The budget of Highlander 1
Mm-hmm.
was $19 million.
Okay.
The budget of Highlander 2 was originally $34 million, but may have ballooned all the way to 80 by the time all of the inflation and the stealing and everything else. And then the Highlander 3's budget was also $34 million. Highlander 1's return domestically
Mm-hmm.
was 5.9.
Okay.
2 was 15.6 and 3 was 13.7.
Okay. All flop.
Worldwide, you have a 12.8 return on Highlander 1. Numbers undisclosed because of tomfoolery involved with 2, and 36.7 on Highlander 3.
That's not bad. Highlander 3 is the most successful.
It only doubled its domestic, really.
Right, but hey, that's something.
It did, but again, with worldwide numbers, especially at that time, they're not getting any of that money back, really.
No, but that's enough to hey, once we get into the VHS, a Highlander movie's going to make money. How about that?
How about that? And that's where we're at, is so that roughly the minimum budget of these 3 films was $87 million. I'm not going to say that the second one was really $80 million, because I think you just have to count the Coca-Cola money that they couldn't repatriate against them. Mm-hmm. That's their own loss.
Right.
That has nothing to do with the Highlander business. And so, $87 to $140 million is what these 3 movies cost together. And domestically, they've returned $35.2 million. Worldwide, $65.1. So what I'm going to just say out loud is that these things had to have made $100 million in the home video market. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a series or the third movie.
No. I mean, yes, Christopher Lambert is the Highlander, but at no point does Christopher Lambert ever have power in Hollywood to say, no, we are making another Highlander. We are going to do it, and you're going to listen to me because I'm Christopher Lambert, like he's fucking Brad Pitt. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If they don't make money, you're not working, Chris. You got to go do Mortal Kombat.
I'm not sure if this isn't like a setup for 4, because in 2000, I think, is when they decide to do Highlander 4, which is Highlander Endgame, and that's going to reconcile everything that the series hasn't reconciled about the idea with the movies.
That's the one where at the end, he's doing like a really cool pose, and Mjolnir flies into his hands, and he says, "Assemble," right? Isn't that the one? And like,
no, I think they end up in England and they say, on second thought, let's not go to Camelot. It's a silly place. The movie just ends 5 minutes in.
That's the end game.
It's the best idea they've had. I don't think I've ever seen 4, because I watched the show as it was intended to be viewed. Oh, I have nothing better to do, and Highlander, the series, is on, and you watch it and you go, this really isn't that bad of a show. It's not great or anything. I remember as a young person, a teen, when the Highlander show was out and people were like, isn't this like sort of like a betrayal to Christopher Lambert? And I'm scratching my head like, how do you, what?
Yeah.
So he's in Highlander, and then start naming other shit that isn't ridiculous. And we're not counting Lord Greystoke, the Tarzan movie, because he doesn't even say anything for 3/4 of that movie.
Jackie, did you
like,
watch Highlander, the TV show, at all?
So I just looked it up because I was like, "That's all sounds really familiar." And yes, I did watch this. Like, not religiously, but I did see a couple of episodes, and I thought it was okay.
Okay.
It was on USA and very accessible because they would probably air it 4 times a week, something like that, in reruns. This was everywhere. Like, you could, even if you just had over-the-air TV, it was going to be a rerun on one of them through syndication. So you were going to be easily able to see Duncan MacLeod have his adventures and then scratch your head and go, but wait, the first movie's awesome, right? And then not even remember a goddamn thing about it.
Right.
So when they made this movie, apparently the producer, William and Panzer, was like, not only are we going to completely ignore 2 and the just catastrophe that it was, because ultimately the Bond company stripped his interest from the film, and so he doesn't consider it one of his films as he wasn't able to really see it through all the way.
Okay.
So this is really like he gets his Highlander back, and then he's like, we're also, this is going to start reconciling the series with subtle allusions. And I don't know what those subtle allusions are, because I didn't at any point in this movie go, oh yeah, they're totally completely acknowledging the existence of the series now that's been out and mostly successful for 2 years prior to this being released in the theater. Did you notice anything other than the fact that he isn't dead?
I noticed something that is relative to the show. They fucking say he's the last of the MacLeod clan. That's it. He branched off. That's the MacLeod. Him. The MacLeods died out after that, so there can be no cousin Duncan
MacLeod.
He can't exist, which it doesn't make any sense because the show's already out. They've already said, hey, look, here's this guy named Duncan MacLeod. And then the lady's like, you're the last of the MacLeod clan, Connor MacLeod of Clan MacLeod. What? Huh?
Maybe Duncan was around before the clan died out, and he was like, they kicked me out too, buddy.
Yay! I was also worthless. I mean, that doesn't add up. I'm fine
But
with
he
the
wasn't
TV show.
he wasn't anybody's like special son or anything, so they don't have anything. He was just like the farmer's
he's a
kid.
goddamn fucking immortal. And it's
Yeah,
not
but
like
he was the janitor's kid, and nobody paid attention to him in the village. And so when he wandered away by himself, everybody was like, well, I guess
Duncan didn't make it.
Yeah.
After 6 seasons and at least 2 movies, I'm going to go ahead and just say that Duncan MacLeod has many more adventures and is far more accomplished than Connor MacLeod.
Connor sucks. Let's just face it, guys. Connor MacLeod sucks. He sucks in this movie. He's actually kind of powerful in the second one. It doesn't make any sense why. The first one, he's a wanker as well. But like the idea that, again, also, I'll say, never mind. I'll say, like, how many fucking immortals are there? And they can talk to each other. I know they can. I know that they know each other.
We're going to discuss where this isn't reconciling with the series and where it's not reconciling with itself. Because if this MVP is a problem, we're just largely, I'll save most of this for when we get there, we're largely ignoring the fact that you absorbed the power and he killed the Kurgan. At this point, he's going to be fairly unmatched in the Immortals, right?
He's going to be a pretty tough immortal.
Pretty fucking tough. Okay, so whatever. When he basically uses, Panzer uses the formula of the first Highlander and gets Andy Monahan to direct it. And if we remember, Russell McKay, he did Razorback before, but prior to Highlander and Razorback and another film with Dudley Moore that was a very indie comedy film, he was mostly a music video, sterling accomplished music video director. And Morahan is as well directing music videos for Pep. He was the one that did his first videos were the Wham videos. Okay. And those things were fucking explosive. Mm-hmm. Those are going to be probably his most accomplished. The Pet Shop Boys ones are just like, they're okay. I think West End Girls was one of them. He did stuff for Bananarama. Did everything for Van Halen during that period with the exception of Right Now, which is its own tale that one should read about or watch a video about in their own time, because that is some pretty wild shit that happened with Right Now and how it got made. Kind of off to the side of what was happening with Van Halen's other music videos. And then a bunch of Billy Joel, he did one for AC/DC, bunch of Guns N' Roses. And that's where, and Michael Jackson video as well. So this guy's done videos for everybody. And he was pretty tight with Guns N' Roses. And as part of the thing with the tie-in and basically copying the way the first one was made, was he wanted to bring Guns N' Roses in to do the soundtrack. And they were all in, except Axl says, dude, we're totally going to do it as long as you fucking fire Mario Van Peebles. And they're like, what? It's like, yeah. And no one could ever get to the bottom of why Axl Rose hates MVP. But Guns N' Roses didn't do it because of MVP. And no one knows why.
Okay. Okay, let's address this. What's the peak the peak of the Peebles? What's the
when
biggest...
he directed New Jack City?
Okay, that's as good as it gets for MVP. Is he bigger than Guns N' Roses at that point? No.
Question mark?
Yeah. So, like, my thought is, like, hey, he kept us from getting into the club one time. How would they even fucking cross paths? You know what I mean?
Maybe MVP boned one of Axl's ex-girlfriends or something?
I mean, that is a strange connection there. Jackie is totally checked out.
Do you know who MVP is, Jackie?
No. I was looking up the Van Halen video because I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. Why don't we talk more about that? Like, what's the big thing behind this
because
video?
We don't do a podcast on the history of fucking Van Hagar. Just
Cocaine Boys.
Cocaine Boys.
Yeah, this episode, she's actually Moltar. She's watching videos in the control room.
Yeah.
Oh, Van Halen's cool.
Yeah, Van Halen is pretty cool. During that period, I'm not big on it. I'm going to be honest. But anyway. Yeah, I was just, what? Yes. So, speaking of MVP, did you know that, he's really MVP too.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he's junior.
Because his dad is Melvin, right?
Right.
Melvin Van Peebles is the real MVP.
Oh, yeah.
MVP senior, which is why
senior.
Mario's second peak, I think, was when he did the ode to his father and Badass and put one of his kids in. And he has 5 kids, and guess what? They're all MVPs too.
Yeah, I knew that part. He's got the George Foreman itis. They're not all named George, but pretty damn close.
They're all MVPs.
Right.
Mandalay, maybe MVP 3. We'll see. He's directing movies more frequently. Again, they're budget pictures, but he's been putting Mandalay in the budget pictures with him. So
okay, all right.
We're excited. I always like MVP. I like when he teams up with. He did a movie with Snipes that was a lot of fun that he directed, where it's a budget movie, but he still does a couple of little fun sequences that are like, oh, this is totally more than just this period Wesley Snipes action film, because MVP has decided to interject these little sequences into this movie, making it just that much more fun. I'm a big fan. So MVP, yay. Deborah Kara Unger, who is not the girlfriend / wife or whatever from the first one.
Oh.
She apparently at one point was like, yeah, it's not that I don't want to do the body double thing, but you probably don't want a body double because it's not going to rock as hard as what I have got going on here. So she does her own nude scenes that are left on the cutting room floor of the theatric version.
Oh, wow.
And the first video release, because this movie is Highlander 3, The Sorcerer, as it is released through the theaters. Then on video at a certain point, it's Highlander 3, the director's cut, probably with the DVD original release. And then this version that we saw today, which is the final version, which has all of the violence, gore, and sex added back into it in its most complete form, is Highlander 3, The Final Dimension.
Wow.
Which is the version on Pluto, because why not? Because every one of these has 6 different fucking versions.
Right. That is so dumb.
What a mess. Yeah. Highlander. That's what it is. Highlander 1 through 3. What a mess.
They never learned. They just never learned. They did it the same.
Why would you learn it? The
time.
the formula from the beginning was wild mess.
Yeah, but oh my God, it's not like it was successful. Like, oh, let's just do it again. No, that was a bad time for everybody. What the hell?
Yeah. Lastly, we'll talk about the music a little bit because it's totally period.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because it misses, like, I think this is 94. So I think you're 2 years removed from wanting Guns N' Roses to be the guys that you do it with.
Yeah.
And maybe because this would be 93 when they're doing pre-production, or 92 anyway. Use Your Illusion has just happened. Izzy has left the band now that they've used all the songs that him and Axl wrote before they were really even Guns N' Roses. Mm-hmm. So maybe he just pulled that out as like a weird, well, I'm not doing it if MVP's in that. And they're like, why not? And he just saunters off and chuckles to himself. He's like, I just made an imaginary feud that no one will ever understand because ultimately we just don't want to fucking do anything right now. Because they didn't want to fucking do anything right now. True. Guns N' Roses, the spaghetti incident is them showing up for a day and fucking jamming out some covers with Gilby Clarke, who just showed up. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, Gilby Clarke's in Guns N' Roses. Like, is he? Or did they just contractually fill their obligations with their record deal and saunter off? But I was watching it, and in the final battle, you're like, man, this is the crappiest ripoff of Dr. Feelgood.
Pretty good.
We noticed that too.
It is not. It is actually allegedly the official instrumental version of that song by Motley Crue.
What? No way.
That's what I found out.
Who
it
told
sucks. You that? The internet?
Okay. I would check your sources. There's no
That's
way.
What I'm saying. Allegedly. I said allegedly.
There's no
I'm
fucking
not
way. I'm not
saying
it. We're not going to get in a Motley Crue argument like we did last time. Suck or not suck. They weren't that bad at music instruments.
They were that bad at integrity.
They were definitely that bad at integrity, but wow.
This could just be an outtake, and they're like, we want cash for blow, whatever.
I guess.
Right?
Fuck.
Like, it lines up.
So you would think that would be really easy to prove, though. Like, wouldn't it be
it
on
has not been
else?
disproven. How about that?
Oh, okay. Well, fucking, if we go down the proven versus not disproven, there's fucking green globular aliens that float in the hydrosphere of Jupiter, Sam. Prove me wrong.
Sam's right that the Motley Crue did say, and it's on IMDb, that they performed the instrumental version for that.
I'll let you both know that IMDb's trivia section is written just like Wikipedia is. It is open
That's what I'm saying.
to anybody.
The same. I at least went 4 sources deep to say this is the most pliable theory here, but there isn't any. It's not like super confirmed. It is at a time when Motley Crue's selling for whatever, so that it lines up. It lines up is all I'm saying.
It would be on something else. Like if they had an instrumental version of Dr. Feelgood, you think that they'd have an instrumental version of fucking Shout at the Devil or something like that.
Sucks so bad. If I was to guess, I would say that it's basically just outtake shit. That they're like, oh, we can get cash for that? Cool. Which lines up with their level of integrity as artists.
Absolutely. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that is quite... That's low. That's fucking jerking off Terry behind tacos bad.
It is $2 less than the tacos hand job. Right. The last song over the credits was originally in the theater because, and maybe this is the shit where they're, Panzer's like, we're going to make allusions to the series being the most canon at this point. The series theme was actually the music in the theatrical version over the credits, whereas in this version, it is God Took a Picture, which is a really post-grunge, like almost there. Like, it was a weird song. I ended up watching the credits just to listen to the song. So I had to look up who this was. It's not even a band. It was like ad hoc together. So again, another one of those things where the music video director knows so many people that he can just kind of jam some shit together there. It's Susie DeMarchi of Baby Animals and Nuno Betancourt of Extreme did that song together.
Huh.
What?
Nope. I got no clue.
Highlander 3!
All right. So are we ready, Sam?
Yeah.
All right. Let's address the elephant in the room, the literal elephant in the room. Number 2 doesn't exist. Now, how the hell are we, in the future, guys who make Highlander movies, supposed to deal with this when we go on the internet to talk about continuity and plot synopsis when the second one you just told us where they're fucking aliens or from the past, sent into the future and skipping the entire first movie? That doesn't even happen. And then also, like, the first one doesn't happen either because supposedly this takes place 8 years after the events of the first movie. But at the end of the first movie, he reaches nirvana and wants to share his gifts with mankind. And that's kind of also the premise of the second one is like, that's already happened, but it was a bad idea. Like, none of that happens now. This is just Highlander 1, we wish we were actually doing what the series is doing.
Yes. That's what happens exactly here. You've got... So, throughout the film, it'll sort of explain that he realized that he just felt really high from killing the Kurgan of such power or whatever, and maybe he thought that. But apparently at some point there's going to be a car accident with him and the girl from Highlander 1. He will survive and she will be dead, at which point he's like, maybe I don't have the prize. But he seems confused at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
As to, like, it seems like I am not dying a lot, and this is now the final straw on me not dying, is this other guy being not dead too. Okay. It sucks. And also, like, I think the glaring issue we're going to have is that it starts out with Mako. Jackie, where are you at with Mako from Conan just showing up and being Ramirez's sword master, like, over again with Connor?
Are you talking about the sorcerer?
Yes.
Nakano.
Oh, I thought that was pretty cool, actually. And then I liked that he had this little pop, or it looked like a lollipop that he would hit the sword with and it would go ting. Like, for a second, I thought maybe he was blind and that that's how he figured out if he'd made a good sword, is he hit it with a lollipop and it would ting. And if it tinged the same way all the way down, the same note, then he knew that it was a good sword and he could give it to somebody as a present.
That's pretty cool, Jackie, because that's actually how the Swordmaster, the blind Swordmaster in Blue Eye Samurai, currently streaming on Netflix, and I can't endorse it enough. That's how he knows if it's a good sword or not. He tings it. Ting.
Tuning the sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, though, as to your question in the beginning, Justin, it's called suspension of disbelief, which
man.
you have to do very quickly
Can
with
I
this
get
movie.
some more? Did they? Can I get that through DoorDash? Because I still have too much disbelief. I need more suspension.
Yeah, I just was like, after they started it, and then we were in Japan, I was like, okay, this is going to be a clusterfuck, and it's just best if I just don't think about the other two movies, and I just roll with this one.
Yeah, because he's like, so one day I woke up and I got stabbed by a mean guy, and it turns out I couldn't die, so my clan kicked me out for witchcraft, and then my lady friend got killed by that same bad guy, and I roamed the world to look for answers. So now I'm in Japan. And that's it. That's the premise. That's our setup.
So, and this is weird to me because you've got, in the first one, you just think that he's wielding Ramirez's sword as an homage or a honor of his friend. Whereas now we've found out that he has decided to go to the same sword master and make an exact copy of it.
Yeah, right. That's what he's there for. He's there for a sword.
Yeah, and to learn more karate.
Again, he has to learn sorting again. There's the second time. He's inept too. Like, the sword guy is not fighting hard, and like Connor's kind of falling all over the place. Oh, you have to learn like you did with Ramirez. But he calls him Ramirez. I liked that. I didn't know if that was just
Ramirez
translation or dialect or accents, but Ramirez, not Ramirez. Ramirez.
Yeah. He was shitty at sword because you have to go back into the period that in Highlander that this is from. He's still pretty shitty at sword fighting. He's really not any good at sword fighting.
He's defeated the Kurgan.
Not yet. This is
Not
back
yet.
in time. This is 400 years.
When he's
This is
you're right.
400 years.
Yeah, you're right. He hasn't defeated the Kurgan. Okay.
This is right after Ramirez dies in the first one. He goes to Japan.
Okay.
And then he's going to go to France. And then he's going to find his daughter in World War II, which this one does at least give us that nod that he just picks up random kids and raises them as his own. So it does answer that question that we had from the first one that I said it was he raises a daughter. No one really agreed with that, but now I feel that this movie has answered that question from the first one. He raises random children.
Yep.
Yep, and it's his way of making sure that he always has an heir.
I thought it was just to like.
I have too much stuff.
I thought it was just a way to like keep the ladies in check because the ladies were Mario Van Peebles later. We'll get to him. He says. See, you couldn't let the ladies know that you were the problem as far as breeding. You had to blame them. So I think he just like, it's the keep a immortal baby. Like, hey, see, we can have kids. And that's the only way he can keep these girlfriends. Because otherwise they're going to dump him and go to some other dude that can actually give them a real baby.
Sure. Or it's like when you take a dog to the park and pick up chicks that way.
Mm-hmm. Instant family.
I was going to say it was more of, like when your parents get old and they start giving you the shit that they don't want because they're too lazy to go to the Goodwill.
Right. Could be that too. Yep. Here's a lighter that doesn't work anymore.
That's right.
Here's a stack of newspapers dating back to 1926.
Mm-hmm.
He also says the swords guy, Nakano, he's like, by the way, there's this dude, his name is Kane. He's an immortal, and he's going to conquer the world. If we don't stop him, it will damn the entire planet. And we go to Kane to see what he's up to, and this whole world conquering thing is going to take a while because he's currently robbing villages of 30 people.
It seems like Eastern immortals have more of a problem than Western, or less of a problem than Western immortals, because he's like, so you're worried about this guy? You have not met the Kurgan? He's a certifiable fucking problem, man.
Right. Even Michael Ironside's way, like, Kane is doing the damage of roving hordes of bandits. Like, that's how menacing he is to the planet at this point in time. He's using his immortal powers to go to Dar's village and knock it off its fucking stilts. He's breeding beastmasters left and right. Like, there's now little encampments all over the hills where they're training beastmasters to enact revenge. That's what he's doing. He's doing his level of menace is as diabolical as shitty revenge movies that have swords and sandals in them. Wow, we're all under threat.
He's not very tough, and I don't think that this works against the dubious story that the two movies are setting up together, that he's not all that tough yet. He doesn't get tough until a little bit later when he shows up at the
Kane or
Nakano's. Kane isn't very tough.
Right.
Connor is just a straight up plebe.
Right.
He is worthless.
Right.
He's
okay,
douchey.
So I've got a question.
Uh-huh.
If they're immortal and they heal, they self-heal, right? Which was stated in the movie when they did the autopsy on that one guy. Mm-hmm. How come Kane has, like, terrible teeth rot?
Oh, yeah, right? It's all...
He just likes purple drink.
But it was like almost goopy, too. Like his teeth had texture to them.
Yeah, like rotting gum disease.
Yeah, they were purposely bad. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You're absolutely right, Jackie. What the
hell?
Doesn't. Stupid makeup department. Okay.
I think he's just going around eating black licorice and he's like, guys, do I look scary?
Yeah. It's his whole motivation. That's why he keeps going to
Maybe,
these shitty
again, we'll go
villages.
back to what Jackie figured out in the first one. He had shitty teeth before he died that first time.
Okay.
And tattoos and nipple piercings, because those would
Yeah.
heal too.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he was kind of a piece of shit before he died. He was probably on steroids.
Oh, damn him. What a bastard. What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. Do steroids make your teeth rot?
No,
I don't think so.
That's meth.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. We're moving on. So he eventually finds the cave. The Kane guy. The Kane finds the cave where Connor McLeod of Clan McLeod is hanging out. And Nakano's like, "Get out of here!" And Connor's like, "Okay," and runs away. We're told. While Nakano faces this guy down because that's how awesome Connor is. Like, you're a wanker. You gotta go, man.
Yeah.
This guy's also a wanker, but you are sub-wanker. So
yeah.
Kane's in there.
You're a sub-wanker, and I'm kind of a wanker, but I know magic, and I can make swords.
Yes. So he's roughing Nakano up. Kane's roughing Nakano up. And he's about to chop his head off. And Connor, who didn't run away, flies through the air like, "Yeah, I got you, bro," and gets stabbed in the fucking stomach again.
Yep.
He just did this. It even flashbacks in the movie where the Kurgan stabs him in the stomach. He's like, "Oh, God, why do I keep trying this?" Dang it. Not again. So he's stabbed. He's like, "Oh," and he rolls around in pain. And the sword, Nakano, he has either a triform spell or a hollow decoy from Halo. But either way, there's 3 of him now. And that's a thing that Highlanders can do, or that Immortals can do.
He seems to have used his time being alive for so long to just learn magic. So I don't think it's something that Immortals can do.
That doesn't make sense, Sam, because otherwise Kane wouldn't get his fucking powers.
Well, you get all of the memories and power of whoever you kill, so he would remember how to do it instantly. Anything that Nakano learned.
I also want to know what's up with the Guardian statue that had the people eyes that opened its eyes and moved its head. Like,
that went nowhere.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that
like,
thing?
And then they show it again after the when the archaeology.
Here she goes. She's short circuit.
Lady doctor.
Sam,
digs up shit.
We're gonna need you to reboot Jackie.
Archaeologist.
They show that same head, and I expected it to like open its eyes or something, but it did nothing. It was just. I thought that was cool, and it was going to go somewhere, and I was kind of disappointed that it didn't.
It did nothing. Okay, so we're back to the triform spell, and he's like, "Haha, I'm over here, or am I over here, or are we all 3 individual me's, or is it a shared conscious?" Ah, damn it! Oh, doesn't work. He just cuts right through him, and he fucking gets
sweating because he made his sword cave too hot.
Right. So he gets the chop. Nakano's dead, and I guess Kane's got all of his powers and memories, including magic, which I don't think you just like remember. Oh, hey, I remember magic from getting that guy. I think if I killed Gandalf and had a brain transplant with Gandalf or whatever, I don't think I just suddenly am a magician.
Well, it doesn't matter because now I guess the show has made this part the quickening, not the feeling they get as they're getting closer to killing each other.
Right.
Which makes more sense semantically. But whatever, the quickening happens and it seals the cave off and Connor just fucking falls out because he's a doofus.
He's just outside somehow.
He's
well,
like,
he ran after the second time.
No, he got stabbed and was like, we saw him going, next to the body, and that's it. And then all of a sudden, the cave poops him out.
No, because the sorcerer goes, I told you to get the hell out of here, and kicked him back into the hole
kicked him
so that he
up a hill.
No, he kicked him out of a side hole, and that's how he escapes, right? But the sorceress also set up the booby trap.
That's going to be good. I like this because then these assholes are going to be sitting there jerking each other off in a cave for 400 years when you can just fall out of a fucking hole that's in the floor like 8 feet away.
Boop. It just pops you out a mountain.
But they can't do that because the sorcerer's booby-trapped his own cave so that if there's ever a quickening in the cave that it would collapse it and that those people would be trapped.
But then, so would he, Jackie. You're trying to defend the indefensible. It does not make sense how Connor gets outside. Yes, he's kicked and then falls down a hole, which means he's going down. He's falling downwards towards the earth, but then gets pooped out of the top of a mountain. That doesn't make sense. It sucks.
It's not supposed to, Justin. It's magic.
Fuck
Suspension of disbelief.
No, I cannot.
It's like magic.
It's a kind
it's
of
not
magic.
Exactly magic. It's just like it.
It's kind of magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like magic.
So, present day, that's where we're at. This archaeologist lady, her name is Miss Johnson. I don't even know what the fuck her first name is, and I don't really care. She's there to dig up the Nakano cave because he's a man of myth, and they're like, hey, we found it. The staff of Ra's down there or whatever. But like, it's also like commissioned dig by the state of Japan or something. And they've got like Tesla coils there. And like, they're going to do some serious science, but it's just an archaeological dig. Right? I'm confused by that.
She's actually a Gungan and her name is Misa Loving Johnson.
That was so lame.
I had a man an apology. Okay. Now I can't stop thinking about Gungans.
But
right.
she can't be that great of an archaeologist if she has boarded up the entrance to the actual cave that she's looking for and dug the trench down further, you know?
So I feel like this is where we're going to get stuck for a while. At least I'm going to get stuck unless you guys can explain this to me. One, these three guys are in this cave for 400 years.
400 years.
They are all Highlander or all immortals. And they're going to wait until right when they get out before one of them kills the other one.
Right. Like,
wouldn't they kill each other immediately?
well, let's break it down even further than that. Miss Johnson shows up and she's like, hey, you don't believe that Nakano was a real hero like Babe Ruth. It's based in fact. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to find all sorts of archaeological artifacts that I can send back to the museum or whatever that archaeologists do. Well, that night she goes, they close down the dig site. And that's the day that they decide to just walk out of the fucking cave because it's not sealed up. They don't have dig tools. They don't use magic. They just bust through a sealed up wall of boards.
They waited for the miners to plank off the opening that they just made.
Right.
They saw that and they're like, you know what? It's been 398 years. Fuck it. What's another 2? Let those guys plank that off. It'll be way cooler if I pull somebody through that plank and kill them in a couple years or something.
That's a good plan, boss. And then they get out and he sends one guy to fucking go get Connor McLeod. 400 years. We got to kill that Connor McLeod guy without even knowing, like, hey, did you meet him? He's probably already dead. Odds are in your favor that guy didn't make it. And you wouldn't know because you don't get the power of the quickening. Only the guy who does it gets the... So you wouldn't know if Connor's alive or dead, right?
Yeah.
He's like, go get him. You got it, boss. And then he turns to the other guy and he's like, so, guess you're a fucking useless piece of shit, and jumps his head off. Why?
No, he kills him because that guy was trying to escape the cave and leave him for dead as he was getting the quickening. And the only reason he didn't make it, he almost made it out, but then a rock fell on him and he got pushed back down into the cave.
But he waited 400 years to do it?
400 years until they're out.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
So now, answer me this. What the hell are they doing in there for 400 years?
Butt things.
Probably some butt stuff. I imagine butt stuff here and there. A little dabble. Guys, it's been 100 years. You want to try doing the butt stuff now that we talked about? I mean, I know there was a lot of pushback earlier, but come on, man. I'm really bored.
Would you try to dig yourself out or something?
They did try to dig themselves out, but then they were dammed up by boards. No, boards.
They just sit there and watch people plank them back in.
Yeah.
Oh, those are planks.
It doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense. They are immortals. He's got strength and power, and he's got fucking magic, and he can't get out of a cave.
You can make swords there. You could easily, even if it took you 30 years to figure out how to make good ones, you can make some rock breaking shit and dig yourself out.
Right. Idiots. Hey, you were going to bail.
And he's got magic, and he teleports later in the movie. He just hung out there for no fucking reason.
No shit, man.
Yeah, he could have made himself a rat or something, or a mouse, and gotten out.
Totally. He's got morphing powers. He doesn't just have morphing powers to move, Jackie. He does have teleportation. We will get into that. It doesn't make, it's so stupid. Okay. So Chops is bro, which doesn't make sense no matter what Jackie says. You were trying to get out. Well, yeah. Fucking cave, dipshit, collapsing. I would have been happy to get you out, but you were all from the quickening. I mean, what am I supposed to do, ass? Oh, well, die. Now I get your quickening.
Well, and this is what pisses me off. This is the first thing about this movie that pissed me off, was that the guy, after he chops his head off, he doesn't disappear like he does in the first two. The body's just there.
The body's just, it's a severed head body. It's like a human body.
Yeah.
No sign of immortality at all.
Like, it doesn't, disappear into the blue sparkles like it does in the first movie.
Yeah. Cloak falls
and I like
to the
that
floor.
effect.
Darth Vader steps on it. Hey, where'd your body go? Jedi Wan Kenobi.
That's right.
Okay. Meanwhile, Connor, he's out in the desert. Don't know where. Don't know why. But he's out in the desert with the kid. It's his kid. He's got one of these kids with him. One of these, hey, rando kid. You want to live with me? Well, I've got parents already. I'm good. Too bad. You're coming with me. Pick you up at the train station type thing from...
It kind of made it seem like the kid belonged to his business partner, and the business partner died.
Okay. No.
Died, which I mean,
right.
is that Christopher Lambert pushed him down a desert hill and left him for dead, and he's like, well, kid, I guess you're mine now.
Yeah, there's a hot lady out in this desert someplace that loves kids that are named John. So, kid, you're mine now. And then they see the quickening happen in the sky because I guess when you kill a immortal, the laser beams go throughout the sky around the world. He's like, oh, someone is dead from immortaling. So I wonder who it is. So it goes to New York.
My suspicions of being immortal still have been confirmed, despite me not being killed 7 or 8 times now.
Also 400 years of life. So he goes to New York, and he gets shot immediately. It's like,
so I left this out of these aren't the guys that originally shot this scene, I guess. Mm-hmm. So they had some extras that were like Montreal punks. Mm. And they had mohawks and shit, and they had them do the first shoot Connor McLeod, and then don't mug him. They don't mug him. They just shoot him and leave him. Why would you do that?
Well, they took his bag.
Oh,
apparently they
got his clothes.
Good. So apparently they had these real live Montreal punks on set to do this mugging scene, and then after they did it, they did some drugs and started openly discussing kidnapping Mario Van Peebles in the makeup RV.
Okay.
Using the makeup RV to make off with. They had to fire those guys. Get them off the set.
Once we get the Peebles, things are really going to start going in our direction, Harry. I'm with you, Ben. Let's get Mario Van Peebles and get the fuck out of here. What's part B?
Shit.
Ransom him?
He's probably so high they're like, we can't kidnap Lambert. He's too good with his sword.
Yeah, right. What are you going to do with Mario Van Peebles?
I just don't know.
My God, they've got Van Peebles. Call the president. And then they fucking have to bring in Louis Gossett Jr. to fly in another fucking mission in the Iron Eagle. Like, it's okay. Yeah, that's a bummer for Mario. Click. Okay. Fucking Dennis Hopper's like, this is the dumbest plot I've ever been involved with. Okay. Nobody gets that joke. I'm not even sure if I get it. So he's shot immediately while in the hard streets of New York, even though he's an immortal and knows how to sword fight and kick ass, supposedly. Then he's taken to the ER, and this is fucking bizarre. The ER doctor is like, wait a minute, I thought you said this man was shot. He was shot. These aren't bullet wounds. Get him out of here. And so then Lambert start coming to like, oh, I was shot. Last thing I know, I was shot. Now I'm in a hospital. And they're like, pin him down. Wait, you just said he was not shot at all. And now you want me to pin him down? This is a free man.
What's wrong with this guy? There's nothing wrong with this guy. He looks groggy. Pin him down. Put that son of a bitch in the loony bin.
Yeah, so he's like, no, don't pin me down. And fights off the orderlies and gets thrown in the fucking bin. What hospital is this? So I never go there.
Yeah.
And it seems like the bin, they say the 7th ward, to make it seem like maybe this place is on the 7th floor, but this is obviously a basement.
There's a fucking, at the bottom of the fucking hospital is a psych ward. A big one. Like, Cuckoo's Nest big. There's many people there. Doesn't make any goddamn sense.
The guy that helps him escape, because escaping from this bin will be very easy. His name in the script is Looney Napoleon.
Looney Napoleon. Yep. He thinks he's Napoleon, and Connor plays into that, and he does a distraction thing, and so he just kind of walks out the front door. On the way out, that hencher from before, the hench, I'm going to call him Hench Hun, because they're kind of Hun guys.
They've got last names like they're Mongols.
Right.
But they're not.
Hench Han. He's there, and he's hunting, and they end up in the hospital's, like, outdoor hanging clothesline department that's in the basement. Like, these sheets need fresh air, but we're a hospital, so hang them in the basement.
Nothing says TB and pneumonia spreading like wet sheets hanging in the basement.
In the basement. That's not how laundry works. So the dude starts cutting through these sheets, not knowing where Connor McLeod is, and Connor McLeod's just standing there. And then he grabs his sword out of him and gives him the chop. So that guy didn't even get it. Like, oh shit, now my head's off. He sucked too.
Yeah, he should have just reported back. Like, I found him.
Yeah, that's what I told you to
But they didn't know about phones because they've been trapped for 400 years.
Except for Kane later knows how fucking fax machines work. He took a fax class somehow.
Yeah.
And he can also read English.
Yep. Pretty stupid. Okay. So back in Japan, Kane...
wait, before we move on, do you think that when he got the quickening from this other guy, that he was like, wow, that was some fucked up shit you guys had to do in the cave for the last 400 years? Because he's going to know all about it, right? So he's going to be like, whoa, shit, gross. And then, like, why wouldn't you use that when Kane shows up? He's like, I know what you fucking did in that cave.
Yuck. It was weird, man.
It's like, it's only weird if you do it outside of the cave.
But Kane sees, he's back in Japan. He sees the quickening storm from that happening. And he's like, damn it, my guy sucks. So there's a cop. Do we even care about the cop? No, the cop never.
He's fun because he's like, your ass is mine. Okay, whatever your name is. And he's like, okay, bye.
Yeah. He's
like 4 times
yourself.
that happens.
So Kane is now in New York. He's there. And he steals some dude's sunglasses so he can look cool, I guess. And then Connor goes to his old home from Highlander 1, and he turns on the TV, and he sees the dig site and Miss Johnson, Gunga Johnson, on TV talking about, we've got a special breaking news. This lady found a cave. And I love it, like that trope in like, that wouldn't be on the fucking news. Nobody gives a shit about archaeology.
No one gives a shit.
Oh, you're a celebrity now. Nope.
The only thing on the news right now is gang violence and AIDS.
Uh-huh. So let's deal with the flashbacks. Let's just get the past all the way, because this is the first flashback. He sees her. She looks like Sarah, who was this French babe that he used to go out with during the French Revolution.
English babe that's there in France to be tamed.
Yeah. Right. Okay, yeah, So, and like, he's like, after we have sex, I have to go fight in the French Revolution because, I don't know, but I was told I have to do that. So he goes and fights in the French Revolution. He gets caught, and he's going to be sentenced to the guillotine. And this other immoral dude who was not
he's not immortal.
Yes,
he's
is.
Just some
dude. He is an immortal,
is.
Jackie. There is dialogue that discusses it. He's like, I'm tired of this long life, and the only thing that can kill me is a fucking guillotine. His head comes off, Jackie. So I'll take your place to end my misery of immortality.
And then I guess Connor just gets his power because he's the nearest Highlander or nearest immortal.
Yeah, which I guess if you're like your head's chopped off in a car accident, does that all? It just floats off until it finds a host.
Yeah.
What if you kill immortal, like you chuck your sword at him from across the room, but there's another immortal within closer proximity? Does it just go to the nearest source? And you're like, no, I was the one that did that.
Probably.
Dang it.
You have to kill that guy next.
Shit, I can't. My sword's over there. I chopped a guy's head off, and now he's standing there. He's got my sword. Oh, no.
Well, then you just learn that swords aren't for throwing.
Valuable lesson. May it be your last.
Yep. Highlander Rule 106. Swords are not for throwing.
Okay.
There's 2 funny things that happen that are just like bad movie funny things. The detective comes into the morgue, and the mortician Howard is the biggest asshole on the planet, and that was funny.
Right.
And then the doctor and her assistant have Plaid analyzing software.
They found cloth, I guess, from when he got stabbed, and there was enough stab in the cave that his shirt, some of it came off, and they're like, okay, see, here's the old tartan pattern from the McLeod clan, and here's this new offshoot. See, over here it's yellow, but here it's blue. And the guy's like, it's tartan. It's still tartan, lady. There's like, whatever, bitch.
He's like, Plaid, huh?
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay. Yep, I don't know about this theory. No, it's an offshoot of the McLeod clan. That's their original, and so somebody must have gotten kicked out. Somebody like Connor McLeod of Clan McLeod, when they found out that he was practicing witchcraft by being immortal, and they sent him out. This is Connor McLeod's shirt. It has to be, and he's the last in the McLeod clan of this offshoot. So there can
And her
be no
assistant
Duncan MacLeod TV show.
And her assistant has fallen asleep because plaid is boring.
What? Oh, we're still doing the shirt thing? Wow. Okay. Whatever, lady. Anyways, back in France, this other dude gets his head chopped off from the guillotine, and Sarah sees it from a distance, the head being held up, and she thinks it's Connor, and she's like, "Oh, Connor." And then he's like, "Don't worry, my love. Once I'm out of this prison, I will come fight." Oh, wait, I'm getting out later today. Oh, okay. So he gets out and he goes over to her house and he's like, "There is my love, the one I've loved since the first lady that the Kurgan killed. Wait, who's that kid? Oh, shit. And the husband?" She's got a family. And he's like,
Yeah.
"I must leave her to her happy, quiet life." Wait, when did that happen?
Like, why did you wait 5 years from getting out of prison to go see her? Like, what were you doing?
Fell asleep in the prison cell. Very comfy
Yeah.
cots. Or was that her family the whole time? Was she whoring around? Huh?
She's just whoring around.
Oh, no. The love
And
of
I
my
felt
life,
the
Sarah.
sting of heartbreak again.
Yeah, and just a reminder, Justin, the first wife did not die from the Kragan.
The Kurgan.
Kurgan.
The Kurgan. She died of old age.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. She just.
But
got
then
raped
she
by the
got the
Kurgan.
shit raped out of her by the
Yeah.
Kurgan and just never said anything.
Right.
Yeah.
An early old age, maybe, Jackie, from mental anguish from her sexual assault. So, in a way, she did die from the Kurgan.
No,
Oh, it was just high
it's not
cholesterol.
even funny to joke about.
No, I'm not joking about it. I'm saying maybe that's what was implied to me when I watched it, that she held that secret in this whole time, and it was anguish to her, and maybe that's why she died. Not because she had fucking high cholesterol. That's the joke.
She was pretty old when she died.
Well, I'm just saying, son of a bitch fucking probably took something from her. A little bit of her soul. Maybe that's why she died. Don't put yourself in her shoes. You don't know.
Or she was 90.
Or she was 90.
Yeah.
Or she looked like she was 90, but she was really 36.
Ooh.
Bad skin care regime. I'm just, that's a theory. It's a theory. I'm not joking about something. It's a fan theory. Don't be an asshole. So yeah, he's now heartbroken from that, and I guess he moves on, but not really, because he gets a painting commissioned of her, Sarah, and hangs it in her house, which, like, I think they just banged the one time, right?
I don't know.
Like, he's got to go to the Revolution that the first time they bang. He was fucking married to a lady for a long ass time. Didn't get her painting commission. He got this fucking lady who was married to another guy's painting. Isn't that cool, man? You didn't even like her that much. Or maybe you did, but she didn't like you very much.
No.
Asshole. Back in the present. Miss Johnson, she found some stone tablets, and one of them says there can only be one. And so she's now on to the Immortals Trail and has to go find Connor MacLeod because of the tartan, blah, blah, blah. Kane's on his path of world domination, but first he has to stop at a brothel and, I guess, kill a hooker.
It's a pretty lousy condom joke.
Yeah, oh, right. No kidding. But I guess the hooker died? We don't know. Like, that goes nowhere.
We don't know.
So now he's in New York, or he was in New York, but then Miss Johnson's still back in Japan, right? Because she was just on the news talking about the stone tablet that she just uncoded, and now he's in her museum there that
They're
isn't
both
in New York. It isn't, because she's like, she says, and then he went to New York. Like someplace else. And also she was just on TV in Japan. That's why he's there. It's because he saw her on TV in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So he teleported to Japan from New York.
No, they're back in New York.
Her museum can't be in New York. She was just on TV in Japan.
No, she came back to New York. Her museum's in New York.
Then why would she talk about Connor McLeod being like, we have to follow him because he's gone to New York, where we
Maybe
are.
she's in. I don't fucking know. I could never tell where anybody is. Later on, she's going to read about Scotland on Microsoft Encarta and then just get there.
Yeah, just get there, right? All right. So he threatens her. He morphs into a vulture and gets in there. I don't know why he's a vulture, whatever.
And this is when you first notice his really weird hairpiece that they put on the front of him that looks like a couple of spikes. Nobody else noticed his hair?
It was his hair sucks.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I like that on his way out, he lit her dioramas on fire just to be a dick.
Just to be a dick.
Hey, those took a lot of time.
And she didn't bother to call the cops at all.
No. So now she's following Connor around. He walks into some place and this is so weird. He walks into this place and this dude's like, hey, Connor, good to see you. And like throws a punch at him and Connor flips him on his back and they're like, and then that guy just leaves.
I just wrote this scene down as judo jokesters.
Who's that guy?
He's this judo jokester buddy.
He's good. Hey, man, it was really good to see you. So you just walk into this dude's place every now and then and you get in a judo tug of war, and then you're like, oh yeah, nice to see you, goodbye.
That's their handshake.
He was like practicing his arts, but it's like, you at this point have killed the Kurgan, you're kind of top notch in this.
Yeah. But so he's an immortal too?
No, he's just a judo jokester.
He's just a judo jokester. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Let's see here. Skip over back to the present. She's following him, and she asks him about McLeod. She's like, "Hey, there's this guy. He's connected to you because of the antique shop. I'm assuming, because she thinks he's Nash. It's Connor McLeod of Clan McLeod. I don't know why he has to say it that way every time, but he does. And do you know him? No, I have never heard of a man named Connor McLeod of Clan McLeod. I did buy a shop from him, but I haven't seen him in 8 years. Connor McLeod of Clan McLeod. She's like, okay, well, that checks out with me. But then Kane attacks. He flies out of nowhere, and he's like, ha ha, found you, Connor McLeod of Clan McLeod. She's like, dude, just asked you about that. I'm sorry. I was just gonna kill you. I totally blew that secret, man. That was dick of me. I know I'm Kane, and I will like burn down a village of 30 people at any point in time, but I'm bad with secrets. I am sorry. So they fight. Oh my god! And they fight in this museum. They're his museum. Where the fuck are they?
I guess I don't know where the fuck they are.
They're in the same place that he was when he's in some kind of sword fighting club that has a temple shrine in it. A
museum outside of it.
Yeah, a temple shrine / museum that is also under construction.
Sure.
Because it's got scaffolding, but the scaffolding has trapezes in it.
Uh-huh.
And trampolines. That's how they get on top of the scaffolding. Is they're just boing.
It's the Flying Walenda's Museum of Judo.
You know, we're not supposed to fight in here. Well, we're fighting in air, so is that really in here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a weird loophole, but let's do it.
The acrobat, like, rhythmic gymnastics fabric fight sucks worse than any of the fights that have happened in any of these three movies.
Even the flying
especially because
bros?
On screen, their momentum peters out and they're just kind of hanging there whacking at each other.
Yeah, right. Okay, it does suck worse than the flying porcupine bros. It's so dumb. Construction trapezes.
Yeah.
There can only be one Connor's down. He's about to get the chop, and just in time, he lifts up his sword, and the sword explodes. And Kane's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here, dude! You just exploded his sword. You're about to chop his head off. Now he's got no sword." And he's like, "Ugh."
I'm gonna just go out on a limb here because I can't tell what's going on here. So here's my guess.
Okay.
When he breaks the sword, he sees how many immortals have gone down to just the one blade, let alone Connor McLeod, and he gets spooked and he leaves.
But that's the new sword that got forged in the cave 400 years ago.
Yeah, but that sword has killed a lot of immortals.
Who?
Including the Kurgan.
Yeah, okay, it got the Kurgan. We know that. But who? His two bros? That's it.
No, there was like another guy. Remember the backflip guy? He killed him.
What backflip guy?
In the first one.
No, he only killed the Kurgan. There was only 2 immortals in that movie. Well, 3.
No, there's the backflipping guy in the parking garage at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep. That has the rapier.
So he's got a body count of 3.
I'm going to just make, there's enough, right?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe that's what the movie's trying to do, but I don't think Connor McLeod's just been running around killing foals this whole time. Oh, I guess he was in the Revolution, but you can't be like, hey, French Revolution, I need to use a sword. No, you're an infantry guy. You're getting a musket.
Even if it's a low count on the sword, the Kane has a wizard and his buddy from the cave.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh shit.
I don't know, man. It's fucking dumb. It's a good theory. I don't think it's a bad theory. I just think it's dumb. You're right.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I killed a bunch of guys in World War One and Two. Did you use the sword? No, I couldn't. If I ran at the Germans with a sword, they would hit me in the face with an artillery round, and that would definitely like take care of the whole head thing.
Head thing, yeah.
So I mostly stayed in the trench and like would pop up every now and then. Threw one of those weird grenades that have the stick on the end one time. Threw that back at the Germans. Blew up a foxhole. Didn't use the sword though. No. I actually left it in its case back in my museum. It's an antique. I'm taking that to fucking Germany. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
No, the sword exploded because he wasn't supposed to be fighting in a sacred temple.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. That is it. But why didn't the other guy's sword explode too?
Because his sword doesn't respect the rules.
Temple of Walenda, Flying Walenda's judo.
Yeah, this is a disrespectful sword. Maybe because the sword was forged by an immortal, it's got immortal powers, and the sword that Kane is using was just one of those ones you bought at like that dork store in the mall. It's just a shitty, crappy sword. Doesn't have immortal powers. I like that idea, Jackie. That's much better than Sam's.
Okay. Well,
but still, why did he run away?
I don't know.
Because
it was a sacred
statue, place. Yeah, because it was a sacred place, and the Buddha statue gave him the stink eye after it broke the windows.
Okay. All right. So the lieutenant investigator, he shows up and he takes her in and like, hey, there's all sorts of shit happening here. You're coming with me, Missy. So he takes her to a bar and she's like, officer, I really need to go home. It's 5 a.m. How long has he been BSing with her? Like, I know that you know that Connor McLeod is actually that Nash guy of Clan McLeod. It's like, oh my God, please just, but she keeps mum. She doesn't say shit. Back in, nope, we don't want to go to France. She goes to Connor's apartment.
Yes.
And she sees the painting of Sarah that we talked about. So now she's like,
this is funny because he's like, you need to go home. I don't like, come on in, but I don't like you. Go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of look like her. And she's like, I know who you are. And he's like, okay, you can do me.
Yeah, but also he gets a phone call confirming his flight to Glasgow, and she picks up the other line, so she knows he's going to Glasgow as well.
And then she has to look it up on Microsoft Encarta first.
Glasgow. Where is that?
I also like that both of them instantly realize we can have the sex together, and it's not going to be awkward because he's got to get up and catch a flight.
Yep, not at all. So he leaves. He's in Scotland now, and he goes back to his old house where he built that thing, that house with his wife who died of old age, quote unquote. And he's like, oh, good. There's the pile of rocks that I laid. I'll just uncover this bag. Haha, it's still here. And then out of the bag, he builds an entire forge and smithy with the stuff.
And he fails. He has like 100 sword fails. And he's just like, man, I hate sword making.
That's what you're sticking on? He opens up a bag and then he pulls out 2 tools. And then the next scene, he's got an entire fucking smithy, an anvil, a forge. Yeah. Like that was in the bag too.
Yep. It's the Felix the Cat's bag of sword making.
And like he's like, oh, thank God this is still here. Otherwise, I couldn't ever have this stuff. It's only this stuff that I can have. I can't go to fucking Home Depot and buy this stuff online.
I know. I got hung up on how shitty he was at sword making after that he would like kind of get part of the way done and just be like, meh, and toss it and like start over.
This one sucks. This one
sucks too.
Yeah, it's because you don't know how to fucking make swords, dum-dum.
And then she fucking... I don't think anything important... Okay, there is one thing important happening before she decides to walk to Scotland via the directions she got on Microsoft Encarta. Kane goes to his apartment and steals his cigars.
He steals his
because
stuff.
He knows what those are.
Yeah.
He shouldn't even know what cigars are.
No. But he also steals his little diamond thing that was in a Fabergé egg that he had. Like, nice crappy egg. Smashes on the floor, and there's like this shiny diamond thing in it. He just pockets it. He's like,
It's a crystal pineapple.
It's a crystal pineapple, you're right.
He probably bought at a truck stop, and he was like, and it came in this fancy Fabergé egg. Yeah. And he's like, I was so impressed.
Oh, man, it's stupid. But he hears John, the kid, leave a message like, hey, Dad, so about when you promised you were going to call me all the time, well, that didn't happen, so I'm going to come to you. Just make sure you're safe because I love you very much.
Yeah.
Hope that you didn't run out and get a pack of smokes and never come back. I'll be there tomorrow, flying in from Marrakesh. It's me, John.
Yeah.
I'm 10, black hair.
The guy you left me in his charge, he's just fucked off, I guess.
I'm your son.
He gave the kid a ride to the airport. Like, you gave the kid a ride to the airport without talking to Connor.
Right.
Before you took him to the airport, before you even bought him a fucking ticket. Like, the guy's been gone 3 days. How about you just fucking sit there, you little shit?
Yeah. You remember me, Dad? I like the Bears and Ninja Turtles. Me? I got brown eyes. I'm a white kid, if that helps. If that makes any difference. I'm your son. Love me. I hope. I'll see you soon. Okay.
So she's going to show up in Scotland, however she gets there. And he goes, oh, hot tits. I'm good at sword making again. And he makes a good sword.
No,
and then
she has to give him the soapstone. The soapstone that Nakano has, like, she found in the cave.
That's what he's missing? Because he didn't even get far enough to use that.
No, and I don't even know what it is. I'm just saying it's a soapstone because it looks like a piece of soap, but it's a stone.
It was so in the beginning of the movie, the guy was, the sorcerer was making a sword for him, right? And he was doing it off of this big block of fancy metal.
Okay.
So he didn't use the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So he stamped it with his stamp and put it aside.
Oh,
to
so
know
that's what
that
the sword is going to get made out of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so
that makes more sense.
Then he melts it down and okay. So it wasn't that he was bad at making swords, it's that he was not good at metallurgy and was just like making them out of tin.
He's like, this sword is horse crap because all I could find around here was horse crap.
Yeah, he's trying to do it out of old railroad tie nails, and it's just not working out very well.
God damn it, that's even dumber.
It's even dumber.
So now he can forge the sword. Oh, God damn it. And then he does endless helicopter shots. So many helicopter shots, swinging the sword around. Like,
none of these sword moves are any good.
No, they stink. But they bought the chopper. They rented the chopper for the whole day, Sam. The whole day. It's not by the hour. So you really got to get those helicopter shots.
I personally like the close-up of him looking like he's trying to crap on the boat.
Now he's over there.
He's rowing real hard, like,
now he's in a boat. Now he's on a rock. Now he's at the beach. Now he's on another rock.
Mm-hmm.
Helicopter. Okay. So Connor calls the kid, or he gets the call from the Marrakesh guy that the kid is in New York. He's like, shit, I'm in fucking Glasgow. Come on, Lisa Johnson, if that's your name, I'm not sure. Let's get on the first direct flight from Glasgow to New York. It leaves in 20 minutes, and we'll beat this kid who's coming in from Marrakesh, which I guess is a possibility. But it seems like that kid would pretty much already be on his way to New York before you even left.
His buddy that was taking care of him not only let him fly by himself, but booked him on Spirit.
No.
Yeah.
That layover.
Everywhere. He's got like 10 3-day layovers.
Yeah, but he's coming from Marrakesh, so it's like he flew from Marrakesh to the Falkland Islands, which is like 100 miles away, and then had a 3-day layover there, and then flew from the Falklands to Greenland. 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just Spirit, just go to the place. Stop it with that. Okay.
He has a layover in Phoenix, even though that's really out of the way.
Phoenix? Seriously? What the fuck, Spirit? Hey, at least our doors stay on. Good point, Spirit. So they're at New York. The whole cast is in New York. The cops are there. Connor's there. Lisa Johnson's there. Ramirez is probably someplace around there. But also Kane is there, stalking the kid. And now Kane morphs into Connor McLeod, and the kid's like, Daddy, hey, Sporto, John. Yeah, John, right, yes, John. Come on, let's get in the car. Oh, Dad, I won't question any reason why you didn't remember my name. I'm just so glad to see you. It proves that you love me. Yay!
Also, before he gets kidnapped, because he makes it to the airport at roughly the same time as his son gets kidnapped by Kane. Right before that, the cops here get on to the McLeod's back in New York, and they are piss drunk at the bar
right.
and don't leave before slamming down the last round to go get him. It is awesome.
Yeah, so the kid's nabbed. Then Kane proceeds to go all Ironsides in the fucking car. This is
more of the Kurgan with the gal screaming.
Yeah.
From one.
Yeah,
only they take it way farther. And it's way dumber.
This is the weirdest part of the whole movie. This freaking car scene. Because he's like making airplanes appear because he's got illusion powers, and then, or is he disappearing the planes? And semi-truck's like, oh, Dad, you're real. Wait, you're not my dad. I learned that earlier when you changed your face back. Sorry, I get confused. You're going to crash us into semis. And then the semi disappears, or they drive through the semi. And at one point, the car is just on fire, like around the windshield. Like, it's not like they get an external shot of the whole car and the whole thing's ablaze. It's just them inside the car and the glass is on fire. The glass gets on fire. Doesn't make any sense.
And it's got goofy grunge-ish music, alternative rock, and he's like, well, here's a steering wheel. Wah! It is dumb on an unbelievably high level.
You take the wheel. No.
Yeah,
he's like, what's that? It's a wall. And then he just crashes into it.
And the kid's like, up to this point, I figured out that is not a real airplane, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but what really surprised me is when we actually hit a wall.
Yeah.
And it didn't disappear.
Yeah. That was a weird one. Anyways, Connor gets arrested, but they can't hold him because they got nothing on him, even though it's pre 9/11. So airport rules are loosey goosey back then. Wild West. He dove past security. But today they'd fucking send you to Gitmo for that. But Kane leaves a message on the machine. He's like, hey, we're gonna meet at this place, and it's a church, and
that's a factory.
Because he goes into the church and he's like, oh, John or Jimmy, good to see you. My name's John, Dad. Oh yeah, John, good to see you. Oh, you tricked me. That's an illusion, kid.
We're also like glossing over the fact that when he's checking his messages and he just got back from Scotland to make this sword that he needs, that there's like 10 swords on the wall behind him.
Nice. Hey, you tricked me with that illusion, child. Wait, you're an illusion too? Used your illusion too? You Could Be Mine, which was on a soundtrack to a movie from 1990. This is a movie that goes.
Oh, yeah, You Could Be Mine if only you didn't have MVP in this movie. Burn. Axl Rose out.
But then Kane makes himself look like the Jesus that's hanging on the wall and disappears into the Jesus. Because he is God in his mind.
In his mind, yeah. Very poetic, Jackie. Oh, this movie. So layered.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Actually, the church is inside of a petrochemical refinery.
Something like that.
Okay. That's weird. And so he's like running around the factory looking for his kid, looking for Kane. And then Lisa, she walks up and she's like, hey, I'm here. He's like, why? Well, I thought I could help. You're not Lisa. Ugh, stabs him. How did you know? Because Lisa's good for nothing.
Yeah.
How did he know that wasn't Lisa? He stabbed her. Yes, it's Kane morphing, but how did he know?
Because when she was pulling him up from certain death from the flam blades, he realized, your grip is not that good.
Ooh.
She doesn't
Speaking of discount tug jobs.
Yeah.
Yep.
She doesn't have the G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip, huh?
Nope.
Sucks for Lisa. She's Kane. They fight. This is the Dr. Feelgood crap. They fight
it's
around.
Like Nurse Feel moderately okay.
Yeah. I called it royalty free Dr. Feelgood, but apparently that's not true.
Yeah, I guess.
So at one point, Kane's legs get chopped off from underneath him, but then they gain sentience and wander back over to his torso. And he's also got the powers of super healing via illusion because it's the same magic effect.
It's a comedy routine where he goes, which way am I going? Well, I'm going that way. Nope, I'm going this way. I'm going both ways. Ha ha ha. Don't you love it, Connor? But seriously, let's finish the fight.
Yep, that is exactly what happened.
Magic! Prestidigitation! Pick a card, Connor.
They do pick a card. He makes the cards all the same earlier in the movie.
Right.
It's terrible.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. This movie's stupid. And I love it. All right. So, but it's a fairly anticlimactic fight. Like all of the fucking Highlander penultimate or the climax of the movies, all these fights suck. Like the guy just turns around at one point and he gets his head chopped off. Like he's dead. Oh, he's dead already?
Yep.
Huh. Okay. All right. Then the whole fucking plant explodes during the quickening, blows up from the inside. We see Connor floats into the air finally. Ah! And like there's now a global oil shortage. There's probably like countries that are going to invade other countries due to this oil crisis now that these fucking immortals have created because they blew up one of the biggest church petrol companies and
petrol factories.
Yeah.
On the east side of Manhattan.
Yeah, right. But then they're like, fine. The kid comes running down the stairs. Dad!
But that was actually because when the kid shows up, he looks up like, oh yeah, you. I forgot about you.
Oh, shit. Jimmy. No, it's Johnny. Damn it. And they all moved to Scotland together. Yay!
Yep.
And the look on her face when they're in the car is like, I didn't fucking sign up for this. Sit your ass down, Marrakesh, and put on your fucking seatbelt.
It's Johnny. I'm from Marrakesh.
Oh, well, whatever. I'm sending you to boarding school once we get established.
Do you know how much I love my dad? My dad is the best dad that's ever existed.
Yeah, he's sitting there in the car by himself while they're boning in the hotel room.
It's weird. Yep. It's weird when you guys do that, but I love you anyways, Dad. I'll always be there for you. Don't ever forget about me in Marrakesh again.
I took more care with my first daughter. I'm not going to lie.
Oh. Well, nothing's changed. I still love you. Oh, I've been kidnapped again. Okay. My first question is, so if they can sense each other, like, you know, because there's no way that this guy knows where the other guy is scenes, but they somehow get drawn to each other. So if they can sense each other, why can't they tell how many fucking... Yeah, it's the quickening from the first, but it's not the quickening anymore, because the quickening is when you get the... Why can't they tell how many fucking other Highlanders there are?
Because it's in near proximity. So like same town kind of a thing.
Okay. Then why does the quickening go all over the world? The quickening lightning. Like, shouldn't you see this all the time and be like, oh, somebody got quickened today? It just seems like there should have been like a consortium of immortals at some point. Like there was the Gathering. We talked about the Gathering.
They tried. What they did is they're like, let's get together, but then they just started lopping each other's heads off.
I know, but there should have been a head count. A pre and a post head count.
The real question is, this time you got Microsoft and Car, you've got the email. They could have done this via email.
Yeah. Okay.
Email could have really helped them out a lot.
Right. Get AOL.
Message boards.
Bing boom. You got mail.
Mm-hmm.
Dave the Immortal at AOL.com. Hey, what's up? It's me, Dave. I'm an immortal. You're an immortal.
Don't come to Chicago.
See ya, Dave. Send. Because it's like he forgot about Kane. Like, oh yeah, that guy that was in that cave.
I think at the point of, if you're him, and at the point of the first movie, you're like, oh yeah, the Kurgan totally fucking killed that asshole.
Oh, you just
assume that, right?
Okay.
But the only reason the Kurgan didn't fucking kill that asshole
he was in a
because
cave.
he was stuck in a cave with two other dudes doing whatever they were doing for 400 years.
Even if I had found out about that place, I'm staying clear away.
Yeah.
I'm the Kurgan. Okay, anybody else? Questions?
I asked all mine during the episode.
There's probably 1,000.
Really, I fleshed out what are they doing in the cave and everything else sort of throughout because it was so head scratchy all the way through it that I feel like we've gotten through all of them.
All right. Well, my last question then is, are we going to dedicate an episode to whatever the fourth one is, the made-for-TV Highlander movie? That's
the thing so 4 isn't really part. This is the theatric head scratcher. What the fuck is Highlander? 4 is going to reconcile with the series.
Okay.
So if you haven't at least seen the first episode, the best ofs, and the last episode, you're probably going to miss a lot on that one. And then the fifth one is really only Adrian Paul in it. So
the rest are pretty much just the TV show.
Yeah, the series reconciles as the canon of after this movie. The series is now seen as the Highlander canon.
Okay, sounds like we're done with Highlanders.
Most likely, yes.
Okay, which then transfers to final recommendations. I'm going to start with Jackie.
Absolutely. I loved this movie. It was a little bit like I said at the beginning, you have to have the suspension of disbelief and not really care that much.
Okay.
But I was entertained. I thought it was great. I'm kind of sad that, that's the last real Highlander movie.
Okay.
But although Lambert is in Highlander 4.
Right.
Yeah.
But, so I kind of want to watch it for that, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can watch this, Jackie. I just
why
don't think we're going
wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you watch the series? The series is like right up your alley.
Yeah, maybe I should. I got hot tub time. I'll watch it.
Yeah, maybe I will.
I don't know. Actually, why wouldn't any of us watch the series? To be honest,
it's not. We're not saying you can't watch it, Jackie. I don't think we're going to dedicate an episode for it because,
unless we watch the series and then watch it, and it's super stupid.
Yeah, right. Sam.
Absolutely. How could you not? Like at this point, and that it's just a really shitty regurgitation of the first one. But yeah, no. Now I'm like kind of thinking that I'm gonna force a Highlander marathon, 3-legged marathon on some people at some point. That's gonna happen.
There you go.
Yeah, these are good. It's a total do.
Excuse me. I am also gonna give it a do. However, I will say that of the three is my least favorite by a lot. 3 is not going to make my year in review at all.
No.
It's fun, but no offense to MVP, but he is not Clancy Brown. He is not Michael Ironside, and I need that. He tried, and yes, the movie itself is limiting for maybe MVP, but it just didn't have the this is stupid that the first one has. The second one where it's so stupid that it's impossible, and this one was just some more of the same type of stupid. Yeah. It's just more of that stupid. It didn't really do anything new for me, but I liked it. It's definitely a do. All three. This is a trilogy of the stupidest movies that have ever existed, and that is something to be said. That there's no Tokyo Drift in this series. They are all heck yeah, cool, stupid.
But the one of them has to be completely ignored by the other two. But
True.
Yeah. It's
all fun
and
thing.
At the same time, it's like, this is totally stupid. It's totally worth doing. It is more Highlander. I don't think I would want any more beyond this, because they, despite having the idea to explore in the television series, I feel like with 3 films through, you've really squandered any emotional currency you had with me on this one idea. I don't want you to try again, please.
No, I agree. No, this is a great trilogy for sure. I'm very happy that we did these. I'm glad that that it never deviated from the stupidity, and it ended as it started. Very dumb. Okay, next week. Actually, you know what? Before we talk about next week, I want to first tell everybody to go ahead and support us on Patreon, patreon.com/ShakerMadness, and give a repeated thank you to our top subscriber, JR, there for recently upping his contribution to us. So you can go ahead and go to, like I said, patreon.com/ShakerMadness. Chuck a buck our way, and we'll give you a shout out on the show if you chuck a certain amount, which I think is like a fair amount of money. We'll let you pick an episode. And $35, I think you get a Stinker Madness t-shirt, so that's a pretty good deal. We'll even send it to you. You don't just
Thanks,
have
JR.
You don't have to find it. You don't find the Stinker Madness t-shirt. We'll literally send it to you at that price. So that's a benefit for sure. I do also want to stop and give a special message to our sister podcast, the Bad Movie Fiends. After 15 years Chuck and Mackie have called it quits. 15 years of bad movies. The Banff cast, I was sad to hear this week. They're moving on to other projects, but, thanks for doing everything, you robot jocks. And thanks for being the other non-celebbed bad movie team out there that actually love these movies. So just wanted to give them a little time because they were good guys. Jackie and Sam are just nodding.
I was letting you take that.
Okay.
And I was also looking up to see if I could remember what the fuck I'm picking this week.
Okay. Is it Robot Jocks?
But 15 years is a hell of a run. That's a hell of a run.
Yeah.
Is it Robot Jocks?
It is a long time.
In tribute to the Banff cast?
I thought it was my pick.
No, I just picked this. It's Sam's turn next.
Did we not do Robot Jocks?
No, we've never done Robot Jocks.
We've never done Robot Jocks?
It was their movie. I didn't want to do it because it's their movie. They literally
their movie.
Rate their movies based off of how many jocks it gets.
Yeah.
But now they're done, so fuck them. Robot Jocks.
Wow.
Back on the table, baby.
Back on the table. I kind of don't like Robot Jocks, but I haven't seen it in a while. It's on Tubi.
All right.
Possible. I had one that I wanted to do that was part of that same shit that I picked last time. Possibly Robot Jocks in Tribute. I don't know. It seems like Robot Jocks in Tribute's probably the way to go here, so I think we'll just do that.
Okay, well, stay tuned. Hope everybody has a great week, and get to the chopper.